Hey guys, welcome back to the channel today. We've got some updates for the Z06. Alright guys, as you can see we have the front tore off the Z06. We're doing some cooling mods. I added dual auxiliary heat exchangers. So here they are. Now this was kind of a custom setup. I did it myself. Made the bracketry. Connected it, did the hoses. At this point I've got everything plumbed, everything ran, all the hoses connected. I've been waiting on my auxiliary tank I ordered from Gspeed. It actually came in today, so we're going to be installing it. Here's the tank I ordered. And it came actually really well packaged. I mean, look at this. It came with instructions, quite a bit of instructions. Came with some stickers, some hoses. They're all labeled. I don't know if I'll use most of these because I already have mine ran. I did all this ahead of time and just kind of ran my own hoses. But it's a complete kit. I also ordered the pump switch. It's like a manual override switch, so you can fill it and burp the tank. So that was like I think 30 or 40 bucks. The actual tank looks really good. I really like this. It's light. It's made out of aluminum, you can tell. But good construction, nice welds. This thing looks really nice. I will say the only problem I've had so far, just unboxing it and everything else, is I think it is missing the bleeder valve. I'm going to have to look in the box, make sure it didn't fall out or something. But from the looks of the threads, I don't think it was ever installed. Maybe it was just an oversight. I sent him an email. I'm waiting to get something back. So, not that big of a deal, but besides that, man, it's really nice looking. Really nice little kit. And these are actually on sale right now. These are normally like $600. I think they're on sale for 350 bucks or something. So, if you've been waiting to buy one and thinking about it, definitely go check them out. I mean, you're not going to get them any cheaper than that. I've seen them go used prices for more than that, you know, on the Corvette forums and stuff. So, yeah, we've got the bumper sitting back there. We're going to see how this goes, guys. I think this is going to work really good. Keep down the air temperatures, the intake temperatures. I think I showed on my last video, I cut out the openings in the wheel wells for airflow. It's just like the ZR1 runs it. It has little plastic screens, which I've heard break really easy and become a pain in the ass. So I didn't want to go that way. I put up some mesh here, riveted it all in, good and tight. These things, the bracketry, I had to fab them up. It took some time, but man, they're really solid. They really set in there nicely. I tied in, there's two bolts back here I tied into for the mounting brackets to hold these, because they're aluminum. They're aluminum, so I had to make some steel cages basically to hold them. But as you can tell, the factory tank, the factory overflow tank, is not here any longer. The dreaded pink air bubble. So we got rid of that. I'm trying to eliminate any kind of I got rid of it for a couple different reasons. One, to open up this space in here and give me room for this. And two, to move the auxiliary tank up there. With it down this low, it catches air, and I think that's a 99% of the reason behind people having overheating issues on these. If there is the tiniest bit of air in that auxiliary tank, it's a no-go. Here's the factory tank. It sits in there like this. Yeah, it was way too big to have in there. It wouldn't allow for the heat exchangers. So got rid of that thing. I like this way better anyways. Moves it up to where it should be, and it's just way better construction. Let me step back so you guys can see both of them. Yeah, I think this is going to work really well. I still have to mount the pump. I took off the bracketry holding the pump to make room for this and the hoses going through. I'm going to mount the pump in here a different way. I've just got it zip tied on there right now. It's actually pretty firm. But I'm going to figure out some other way to mount that. The fabrication here is part of the fun, guys. You know, when I was making these cages, trying to figure out some way to tie in to hold it. Again, the two existing factory bolts that go back there, I'm tying into with the bracketry. It's probably really hard to see back in there. It's dark, but they're super, super stiff, super secure. And that was a big concern. I didn't want these things moving around. So, I'm not going to walk you through the entire process of installing this thing because I'm probably going to bumble my way through it. But I think it's just moving a couple bolts, removing a couple bolts, maybe this one right here, I think. It's got it all in the instructions. Sitting it in there and tying it in. This is my lower hose. Got my upper removed up here. Actually, they recommend reversing the flow on the pump. And it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. Normally, it comes out of the supercharger, comes down, goes into the factory heat exchanger, out, into the air bubble, back into the heat exchanger. It's a dual pass, goes down through the bottom, into the pump, and then pumps it back up, back into the supercharger, and that's the cycle. That's the circle. This way, they reverse the flow, or they recommend it. I'm reversing the flow, where it comes out of the supercharger, goes into the auxiliary tank, and then the tank feeds the pump, so that there's always a full supply of coolant there to feed the pump. So you don't get any kind of cavitation with air coming through that pump, because the slightest bit of air going through that pump, it cavitates, shuts down. It's got it built into the programming where it shuts the pump down. I think it's for like 60 seconds or 3 minutes or something like that. But yeah, Chevy should have kind of thought this one through a little better. I think that's 99%, like I said, of the reason that these cars overheat, and you hear all the stories about them going into limp mode, and I think it's because air in the system. I really do. But anyways, now it's going to go through the pump, come down, go through one heat exchanger, back through this heat exchanger, through this heat exchanger, then back through the center heat exchanger through the bottom. So that's 4 passes through heat exchangers, and then fed back up to the supercharger. Alright guys, I'm going to cut off here. I'm going to install this thing. It looks pretty damn simple. Just remove a few bolts. They give you good instructions here. And their instructions are actually tailored for somebody not doing auxiliary heat exchangers. Just doing a swap. Just putting this in with the factory stuff. This is a good kit. This is a really good kit. And I like that they do this. A lot of stuff you order comes with no instructions, no extras, no nothing. I mean, here they supply the hoses. They label each one of the hoses. Pump to engine, reservoir to pump. I don't know how small of a company this is, but they have that small company courtesy, you know. Everything came wrapped really nice. See, here's what I was talking about, reversing the flow. Here's the factory flow. And then here's the reversing of it. And that's also showing the new lines tied in with the auxiliary tank right there, and pump down there. Yeah, this is really good, guys. So far, so good. So we'll click back here in a second, and hopefully I'll have it installed, and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, we're back. It is morning time. I spent all night doing this. Not all night, but just goofing around with it. It is installed. I had a few hiccups. Here's the tank. I tell you, this thing is kind of a bitch to do, just because it leaks everywhere and filling it up super slow. I had a towel. I got some paper towels under there. I've got the tank installed. It went in okay. It's not perfect. Under here, I think their jig's a little bit off. It's probably a 1/4 inch of gap down under here in order for it to sit flush on these 2 points. But it's not bad. It fits in. Got the hoses all connected up on both sides. I kind of made my own. They send a couple that you can use, but you got to kind of play with it. Bad thing is, this is a 3/4 inch, and the line goes to a 5/8. No, wait. Yeah, I think. Yeah. 3/4 inch, 5/8. So, luckily, one of the hoses I took off down there when I did the heat exchangers has a 5/8 flare, or a 3/4 inch flare on it, so it worked out pretty nice. So I just cut its size, plumbed it in. This thing I've got going, I seen this on the internet, this tube. First of all, everywhere I've seen tells you to buy a 1-inch diameter tube, 1-inch ID, inner diameter. That is not correct. It is 1 1/8. It's 1.125 down here. So, I mean, it works. I put a little heat to it and got it to pop over it, and then put a little hose clamp on it, and it seems to work okay. But, God, that tank looks good. I love the matte black. So there's a shout out to Gspeed. Like I said in the video last night when I was getting ready to do this, these are on sale right now. I think they're $3.50. So go get one. I also bought this little tool. It is a pump override. So you hook this up in the fuse box, plug it in, and it allows you to run the pump for the intercooler manually without turning the car on, so you can purge the system, which is what I'm doing now. It did not come with instructions. Gspeed, you gotta send instructions with that baby. You send instructions for the tank, but you didn't send instructions for that. So it took me like 2 hours on the internet to find where they go. Let me get a light and I'm going to show you. So if you ever do this yourself, you know where they plug into. Alright, it's like a little piggyback. It plugs in there. And the longer one plugs in here. You have to remove the relay to do that. The relay's right there. You remove the relay, remove the 15 amp fuse right here, plug this in. This has got a little pigtail on it, and then put your black wire right down in there. I'm trying to get super close so there's no confusion. So there's what I removed. So the next person that does this doesn't have to hunt around the internet. I mean, I guess you got to hunt around for my video, but we have got it. We're purging it currently. I've got the big old light set up here. I love this thing. So we're just purging it now. I didn't figure you guys wanted to watch that part, so you just flick it on over there, and here's the bleeder nipple over here. It says it's the highest point. It makes that the highest point for bleeding in the system. I don't know if that's true. I'd say this is a higher point than this. And this has bleeder screws. I don't know if anybody even knows, this has bleeder screws for both lines. Right here's a bleeder screw for the intake, the intaking line on the coolant, and then here's another bleeder screw back here. So I would say these two bleeders are, boy, I don't know, I'd have to get a level out. I'd say those two bleeders are probably just a teeny bit higher. So you're probably going to bleed most of the air out of it on here and then finish off on those. I don't know for sure yet, but that's what I'm probably going to end up doing. But that's the extra coolant tank, guys. So the extra reservoir, I don't know if it'll help any, but at least it moves it from there to up there, which is pretty much all I wanted to do. So, and it looks good too over there. So I like the matte black, like I said, blends in with everything really nicely. All right, guys, that is the video. Go check out Gspeed. It's a good kit. It's a really good kit. Gspeed. Put some instructions with that thing. That cost me about 2 hours on the internet trying to find out where to plug that goddamn thing in. Besides that, very happy. Awesome customer service. I've talked to them a couple times. Just awesome guys. So, that's it, guys. I'll update you when we get this all purged out, get the front end back on. If it ever stops snowing, take it out. And see how much cooler she runs. I anticipate it's going to run quite a bit cooler with those front dual heat exchangers. So we shall see. Till next time, guys.